Hello, my friends. This is our regularly scheduled live stream every Sunday night between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. Getting on a little bit late today, but anywhere between 8 and 9 is when we'll hop on Sundays. And for the next several weeks, we're going to continue to do the SPY dailies for the coming week on this live, and then follow that up with questions and answers. Anybody that's a YouTube member is able to ask questions right here on the live. And then anybody that's a subscriber through the website has got access to the live Discord questions. There's an actual channel for live stream questions. And then if you're new to the channel, guys, I'm going to do the day by day, the hour by hour chart behavior for the next 6 trading days of SPY. It's important to understand that not each, like the timing will usually add up pretty well. Like it will be to the hour or to the minute in some cases, but there's also cases where we're going to need to give the timing plus or minus a couple hours of wiggle room. And the reason being is that not each card's energy will line up perfectly with 1 hour of time. It's a sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction that's most important to follow. And I do not advise trading this information on your own. This is something you need Discord trade alerts and the TradingView charts and somebody with 25 years of experience, because it's simply not it's as simple as knowing up and down. And anybody who's traded knows that. All right, so the overall theme and behavior for SPY on February 3rd, there's a notable trade opportunity here on a multi-day scale, and it looks like we've probably got some bearish price swings and or a sharp drop. Yeah, I think there's probably a sharp drop at the end of the day or overnight. Behavior around the highest high for the day. We're going to have a notable move higher and a full retracement. It's also something to point out to those of you that are new is that when I talk about support, resistance, big moves, stuff like that, that's all going to be on the scale of a 1-day chart with, let's say, like 5-minute to 15-minute candlesticks. But I like that 5-minute. I think it's the best way to read it. But unless otherwise specified, that'll be the scale that I'm talking about. Behavior around the low slow, we have a similar kind of chart behavior going on near the low, where we have a prominent move higher, full retracement, indicating we likely see a peak in between 2 lows. I'm advised to trade around an important support level on a this will be on a 1-month scale minimum. Usually it can be relied upon and trusted. So this is an example of what you get on the early access subscription, the live trading link for SPY, and we actually draw on here our expectation. So we see a drop going in here, a pop, and then another drop here in the month of February. Yeah, so my sense is that that's probably what's going to happen. All right, so in the pre-market, we've got multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, and then right around the open, we should see a steep decline through multiple support levels, and then some sideways rotation near the bottom of that decline. There's actually a high in the pre-market or right at the open that we declined from. And then an unexpected move after that sideways rotation, unexpected move higher to a... Hard to say. The high might be in the pre-market or the high might be in the first half hour. Or it could be 2 highs, but I think it's probably in the first half hour. So we have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance pre-market at a highest high thus far. We decline around the open, sideways rotation, and then a big move, unexpected move to the upside, taking us to a high or first high for the day in that first half hour. And then there's a reversal there, taking us into a low or a significant trough between roughly 10 and 11. Right around 11 o'clock, big move to the upside, followed by like a U-shaped dip and then more volatility into 12 to 1 o'clock, where we should see yeah. So there's a trade in there. I'm just looking at how best to trade it. In any case, the like right around 1 o'clock, there's a notable rally back to a peak or another high. I think it might even be a little bit after 1 o'clock. It could be out at like 2:15 ish. But there's like a little trough in there in between the peak, where the rally starts and the peak. So it's like the rally starts, there's a drop and then a big move. And then I think we create a crest that will sell off from, if not off of the crest that we see around 2 to 3 o'clock, then it would be in the last hour and brief, because it looks like we already are declining into lowest lows for the day by the end of the day, with a lot of price change overnight. Oh, a lot of price change overnight. Wow, wow, wow. All right, so the trade that I would make here, guys, so at that fortune card, you might consider. I don't like to place trades against the overall trend of the day, so I'm going to avoid that one. I think if you're in a long position, you'd probably cash out of the long position to be safe. I would say in the midst of a rally here between 1 and no later than 2:30, 2:15 ish. But the real trade is going to be to get into a short position, either maybe like a partial short here at that peak, just after 2 o'clock, or there could be a decline and then another big move from a low to the upside. And in the midst of that big move out of a low to the upside, that would be where you'd add the remaining. But I think probably just when you hit that crest, it's probably the best place to open up that short position. And then this would be an overnight swing. See how that works out, guys? So this is really clear. The low for the art card appears here at the low for the day. I saw a really big move to the downside overnight. So this is SPY for February 4th, 2025. Currently, SPY is $601.82. If you're just hopping on, guys, we're going through the hour-by-hour chart behavior of the next 6 trading days of SPY, and then we're going to get into questions and answers. This should be a relatively longer session than normal, especially because I hopped on late. But we're going to start doing more live streams. While we're kind of like MIA on the videos, we're going to start doing more live streams for you guys. I'll show you guys how to get membership so you can ask questions to those things at the end of the video, so stay tuned after all the trades and the questions and answers. So you would close out of the short opened at the end of the day on the 3rd. You close out of it you could probably close out of it right at the open of the 4th, or if you miss that, there's like a pop like out of it to a high, from a low to a high, I would say, and you miss it, then I would take the next opportunity, which might be a better opportunity, at a low for the day between roughly 10 and 11. But rule of thumb when trading SO meta-analysis is don't wait for the backups. Take the earliest exit and look for the next best trade. Take your profits early and don't try to max your gains, because that's how you lose money and you get into this habit of wishing you hadn't done that on repeat. What you do, you echo onward through infinity. Interesting that we have very similar things going on for the highs and the lows here. So I think it's probably a straight shoot from that high there down into lows here around 10 o'clock. And then you could open up a long position there likely we've got a rally along a diagonal trend line. I wouldn't open up a long position there. We're still going, that would still be going against the trend. So what I would look to do is after this, we like return from this low, we do some flat chart behavior, flat behavior between roughly 11 and 12. There's an important support. We make support probably out of that, whatever that resistance is that we're doing the flat behavior around. We probably create support out of that momentarily. And then that'll be like a rally ending with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through diagonal trend line, increasing volatility on the way down. Probably a pretty sharp drop from there. I guess I would look for resistance, like support becomes resistance again, and it's resistance that we failed to meet many times before, and that's a pretty strong indication of where you'd want to get into another short position. And I would probably hold that short position overnight again. Well, so the short, if you're doing options and you open up that short position, you definitely want to, rule of thumb, always have at least 7 days. But I think that's even too close. But 7 days to expiration. Don't mess with options any sooner than that. It's just, don't. Especially with SO Meta. But you could have an expiration out probably on the following week, right? The following week. And then probably be able to exit out of it here on the 7th. You could also open up a long position here, which you could either close here, possibly. It's not certain there, but you could close here midday, possibly for a day trade, or more likely you would close out of it. Probably close out of it first thing in the morning on the 6th, is my sense. So this is the SPY February 5th, 2025 one-day reading. We're going through the next 6 trading days by the hour. We've been doing this for, I don't even know, it's been like 4 or 5 years. I mean, on video, probably this is our 3rd year, but the website goes back like another 3 years, guys, where we were just doing photographs because it was more research. Nobody knew about us at all. We had a YouTube channel that we didn't use for a whole year. So here on the 5th, this is going to be overall pretty bullish day. Overall bullish day here. We push the upper end of a range higher, and especially towards the end of the day, there's likely to be a big move. Behavior around the high side for the day, we have erratic behavior back and forth through the same price level. In the midst of that erratic behavior, we usually revisit an opportunity either at a crest or a trough. Being that this is in the high signification position, most likely that means that we're going to revisit a crest there. Behavior around the low slow, U-shaped dip forming near the intersection of 2 perpendicular diagonal trend lines. And I'm advised to trade around this an important support and cash out opportunity, which my sense is here on the 6th. Or possibly another opportunity at the end of the day on the 7th. Hard to say. We'll get into that momentarily. So in the pre-market, we have a rally along a diagonal trend line ending with faster to move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down into a low right around the open. Well, that's kind of interesting. Okay, so I think that rally probably goes into the open, into a peak, and then it pushes the upper end of a range higher into a peak just after the open, and then from there we have a pretty significant decline down into a low for the day around the first half hour of trading. Then there's like resistance between 10 and 11. We bump up against resistance, or a trend line, I should say, 3 times, and off of that third poke through it, we will break down pretty notably into what appears to be another trough just after 11 o'clock. This is tricky though. We've got a trough and a peak like almost on top of each other, so determining which it comes before in the sequence of events becomes very, very difficult. There is price swinging going on there, so it does make for the likelihood of us going from a peak to a trough. But I would expect us to want to chase a move to the upside and into that peak. I advise against chasing that, and that would be a good cash out opportunity for a long position. So most likely that means that we have this big move out of a trough between 11 and 12 with like a breakout to a high in the midst of price swings. But don't chase that move to that high in the midst of price swings. We swing back down, another trough between 12 and 1, unexpected move to the upside out of that trough, creating a peak that we sell off from pretty notably between 1 and 2, and then a lot of volatility and, matter of fact, a lot of erratic behavior going on there between 1 and 2 and into 3 o'clock, most likely revisiting a high for the day there. And that resistance, that Ace of Swords resistance between 2 and 3, it could mean that we're coming back to that resistance again. That resistance there, we declined from it pretty notably. Most likely return to it, it looks like, at the very end of the day. In the last hour, we've got sideways rotation, big move higher, sideways rotation. But then I see a sharp drop overnight again from the 5th into the 6th. You want to close out, if you missed the opportunity to close out along here, you could do a day trade after this second peak forms. This breakout to a second peak forms. You could do a day trade where you open up a short, close a short at a trough there. But that one's risky. A safer bet is going to be, if you miss closing your long there, close your long here between 2 and 3. And then I would likely open up a short position at this resistance. We'll likely revisit it right at the open, or right at the close. And if we did, then I would add to it. And you would most likely close out of it right at the open. If that ends up not being a good exit, then you're going to have to hold it until some point. We'll look at it in more detail on the 7th. But this is all stuff that it's so easy to follow along on the live streams, the live Discord trade alerts, because I'm updating people when I see the things that are happening. Sometimes these predictions are wrong, but in real time I can recognize that right away, and then figure out by analyzing, because it's an actual form of analysis, I can analyze it and determine what the correct expectation is. So it's a super, super powerful tool, my friends. I highly recommend if you want to be serious about trading estimate analysis, to get the subscription. I'll show you guys at the end of the video. Yeah, I think I definitely want to be short into the gap or into the overnight, and then in the morning I would close out of that short, most likely. Oop. Sorry, we're doing the 6th now. So this is SPY one-day reading for February 6th, 2025. For the foreseeable future, well, actually up until April, SPY dailies, we are going to be doing these the next 6 days by the hour, predicted every Sunday. As part of the live stream before we get into questions and answers. Regular time is between 8 and 9 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. In April, the plan is to get back to the daily videos coming out and all that stuff. So the overall theme and behavior, first off, guys, 2 nullifications here. There's a trade card nullification and there's a high card nullification. Okay, and then there's even caution advised around the high that's nullified. So you want to be very, very careful. If you can avoid trading this day, I would advise it. So you would want to close out of shorts here most likely. And it's the devil card on the 1 month as well. Yeah. All right, so overall theme and behavior for the 6, we got a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. Behavior on the high side, sideways fluctuating rotation along key support near the high, ending with a fast sudden move higher. And then likely that fast sudden move higher does not hold based on the nullification, based on the correlation to the prudence card from the prioritized reading, and based on what the timeline cards are showing me. And then the behavior around the lowest low for the day, a failed attempt to break through an established resistance, followed by a decline through key support into the low. A nullified trade card, a rally along a diagonal trend line ending with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line with increasing volatility on the way down. So in the pre-market, a lot of ground covered, an important support level highlighted there. It could mean that there's a high there, because usually you see sideways rotation involved in the Ace of Discs. A lot of price change too, and both of those things are contained within the Knight of Discs. So probably a high there in the pre-market, and then a brief peak at the open, followed by a decline through multiple support levels. A rally into key resistance in the first half hour out of the open that fails, and we break down from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. That decline then ends with a pop and drop between roughly there's a trough probably at 10 o'clock. There's a trough probably around 11 or 10:30, 11:30, and there's probably a pop and a drop within that. And we pop to meet a key resistance, and then we decline from that all the way back down to another trough right between around 11:30. And then between 12 and 1, we've got a period of volatility, a sharp drop in that period of volatility. There's somebody speaking. Interesting. It's kind of hidden. That ruin is hidden. Likely a female leader speaking. They might be an air sign, or it might be that there's like a news broadcast about them at just around 1 o'clock. But whatever they're saying, like, it's almost as though they're not telling you everything. They're not lying, but they're not telling you everything. Either way, it looks like we get some erratic behavior and a pretty significant move to the upside there between 1 and 2 o'clock, especially just before 2 o'clock, big move to the upside into a peak. And then there should be a drop to a low for the day or a significant trough. So some swinging going on there. Out of that low, an unexpected move to another peak around 3 o'clock with a failed attempt to break through key resistance that we expect to break through, followed by a decline through key support. So the low here is we're probably seeing the same low multiple times. Like we're doing like some sideways behavior, low around 10, low around 11:30, low around 1, low somewhere between 2 and 3, and then this failed attempt to break through resistance because we've basically looks like we've established support, and we have this big move ending that rotation, but that doesn't hold, and we end up declining. We decline all the way down to an important technical price level in the post market and a low for the day there. So the way that I would play this is I close shorts here, and then here in the midst of this big move in the erratic behavior, this big move to the upside, I would open up another short position, and I would look to close that short position. If we have a significant amount of decline into the close, I'd probably just close it there. Or if you don't want to do a day trade, you would close it probably first thing here in the morning. Huh. Pretty interesting cross trading congruency going on here. We've got this is a harvest ruin, indicating to take something grew some gains. It's harvest time. You want to take those gains, take profits, and we see it in the very beginning of February on the 1 year. We see it in the first week of February on the 1 month, and then on the dailies it actually comes in. Interesting enough on the 10th, 1 day late, but still very, very interesting to me. Something to be aware of. Anyhow, this is SPY for February 7th, 2025. Its current SPY is currently $601.82 USD. Currently 8:51 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, and if you guys are wondering, these February dailies that we're looking at here, they were created on January 10th, 2025. All of them except for the 7th, because we lost that file and had to throw one down a little late. Yeah, okay, so the overall trend and behavior for SPY on the 7th, it looks like it's a pretty mixed day. A sideways S formation within a channel. Usually you'll have an important resistance that you'll decline from to meet important support, and then you'll reverse and return all the way back to that resistance, and then reverse and return all the way back to that support, making a sideways S formation within a channel. Sometimes that's a horizontal channel. Sometimes it's at an angle. Rarely is it an upward angle. If it's at an angle, it's usually to the downside. And it does look like we got a pretty sharp move to the downside near the end of the day. Behavior around the highest high, we have a failed attempt to break through an established resistance level followed by a decline through key support. Behavior around the lowest low, sideways rotation around the low, ending with a fast sudden move higher. I'm advised to trade that Princess of Discs, indicating a good cash out opportunity here, a good trade opportunity. We'll look at that in more detail as we progress. In the pre-market, a decline that turns over and rallies into a peak right around the open, with a big move into a peak right around the open. But the truce card indicating that from that peak, which will be at an established resistance, we should see pretty abruptly, a sharp decline back down in the first half hour out of the open into lowest low for the day thus far, revisiting a support level that we recently saw before. Could be the support that was in the pre-market, or it could be from the prior day. Out of that low in the first half hour, big move to the upside, like a shoot higher, or like a jump of some kind, and that'll take us to another peak, roughly the same high price level high, around just after 11 o'clock. It'll be roughly the same price level as the high that we saw around the open, maybe just before the open. From that second high after 11 o'clock, decline notably into a trough. This may be our lowest price level yet for the day. And then we have some bullish price swings out of that trough between roughly 11:45 and, let's say, 1 o'clock. Bullish price swings taking us to a peak that's probably a bit lower than the first two peaks of the day, but a peak just before 1 o'clock. And from that, it'll be a brief peak that's easily missed, and a sharp decline through multiple support levels, taking us into a trough taking us into a trough just after 2 o'clock. There's a bit of a rally. It starts from a trough just after 2 o'clock, but that rally is halted by a decline through an important support level. Somebody speaking around 3 o'clock probably impacts that somehow. And then the full card in that last hour at a high, most likely, this is indicating, it's hard to say. Let's look. Yeah, so trough around just after 2 o'clock, a rally starts and then it's halted by a sharp decline through key support. And then somebody speaks and we go from a trough into a high, like a big move into a high right around the close. Yeah, my sense is that you might be able to close out of a short here. Probably want to close out of a short here, but you might be able to close out of a short here if you open up a short at this second peak, or if you miss that in the midst of these price swings, open up a short. You could close out of this if you open up there. You could close out of it probably with this universal hexagram drop, but that's not a definite. We could just have a higher price level, in which case you'd want to add to the short. And I would be looking to close that short probably around noontime. Noontime on the 10th. And that's SPY for February 7th, 2025. This is the S&P 500 Spider ETF SPY one-day reading for February 10th, 2025. This is the last daily we're doing for this session, and then we'll get into questions and answers momentarily. If you're new to the channel, we do this every week between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. We go over the next 6 days now by the hour of the S&P. We've been doing it for years and years with insane accuracy, like the videos say. Everything that we talk about is going to be on the scale of a one-day chart with 5 to 15-minute candlesticks, unless otherwise specified. And you want to pay attention to the sequence of chart events as outlined by the prediction. The timing is usually on point, but not always. The sequence of events remains accurate, even when the timing needs a little wiggle room. All right, so let's get into this. We've got a nullified cruelty card. So there's a resistance level that we failed to break through many times before. And being that it's nullified, it may mean that we break through it. Interesting. Interesting. Behavior around the highest high for the day. We have sideways rotation around the high and a sharp drop from that high to revisit a support level that we recently met before, or the high is a revisiting of a support level we recently met before. Behavior around the lowest low. We have a rally into key resistance. Pretty notable rally into key resistance, followed by a decline from that resistance with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down into the low. And there may or may not be another huge move out of it. I think probably it's a huge move into the resistance and then it consecutively lower spikes up on the way down into the low. I'm advised to trade around a period of volatility that ends with a fast sudden move higher. So in the pre-market, we go from a high, we decline pretty notably into the open. And right around the open, there's an unexpected move to the upside, taking us to a peak, followed by a decline to and through support to meet another support. We bounce along that support between 9:30 and 10, and then break down through more supports into a low between roughly 10 and 11, out of which there's a huge move to the upside, likely to meet key resistance somewhere around key resistance either, so it's going to be like somewhere around 2 to 3 o'clock, probably 3 o'clock, but somewhere between 2 to 3 o'clock. And then from that resistance, we should have another sharp drop into a trough. Followed by a pop higher and another sharp drop back to a trough, likely to be a little slightly low thus far, somewhere between 1 and 2 o'clock, and then another brief peak that's easily missed between 2 and 3, followed by a decline through multiple supports, followed by, in the last hour trading, a huge move to the upside, and then pushing the upper end of the range higher around the close. It looks like it looks like this huge move at the end of the day on Monday is a really good short opportunity. Oh, maybe not. Well, we'll look at that in more detail as we progress, but you want to close out of shorts here probably within the first, like between 10 and let's say 1 at the latest, because this move is going to like be like a breakout over here. No, I don't necessarily think you want to get into a long or a short. I have to look at it in more detail, and we'll get into those readings next week on Sunday. That's SPY by the hour for the next 6 trading days. If you got on late and you're interested in those, you can find these on our lives, our content on our website. This is free. You can look at that. All of our SPY stuff is free. However, you can get it early, all the free stuff and the stuff that's not just SPY, actually. You get all of that stuff early if you've got early access, not to mention the live Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view chart links. All right, guys, so I'm going to get into the questions and answers here, and I'll show you how to be one of the people that can ask a question. All right, so if you want to just ask questions on the live streams, we're going to start doing more of them, and you want to show your support on YouTube for the channel, you want to go to our YouTube channel and just click on join. $50 a month gets you the supporter badge, and it's a way to show loyalty, a way to support the channel, and gets you access to ask as many questions as you want on these live streams about anything. It doesn't have to be stock, it doesn't have to be crypto, it could be anything you want. You're a paying member. And then the other way is to have one of our subscriptions that you get through the website, tarotfortraders.com. We're looking at SPY, so I'll focus on the early access subscription. You hover over order now, click on subscriptions. Early access gets you early access to all public posts that would come out on YouTube. It gets you access to the S&P 500 readings early, gets you the Discord trade alerts and day trade alerts for S&P 500. And the live trading view chart links. All of that for $60 a month, $600 for the year. Vastly undervalued, or underpriced, I should say. And then also, guys, just a heads up, we are getting ready to have some more info come out on the Investor Profit University. If you don't know about the Investor Profit University, we're going to teach a select few, somewhere between 5 and 12 at the most, and they will have like a ton of time with me throughout the second half of the year, where we'll be teaching, like basically teaching you guys the ins and outs of not just how to trade SO meta-analysis, but how SO meta-analysis works, how you can use it to develop other skills, psychic development, money management, all, how to read the charts properly, how to trade. I mean, just all this like extra stuff, cross-reading congruencies, the ruins and the reverse clairvoyant anchors, a lot more than just tarot. We cover all of that stuff as part of the university. And we want it to be accessible because depending on how many people sign up for it, it'll be between $3,000 and $5,000 for the tuition. But we wanted to make sure that we remained accessible to people that can't afford that. So we do have a raffle. You need to enter your full name, your email, and upload a valid ID, picture ID. and there's like anybody that's caught submitting more than one of these is immediately disqualified, and I will ban them from the site as well, because I don't like people who waste my time, and I don't like people who steal opportunities from people that need them, right? So don't be one of those people. If you can afford the tuition, leave it to somebody that can't. Let them sign up for it. You know what I mean? That's how you support the channel. That's how you support other people. But we'll get more on that coming out not too distant future. All right, let's get into the Q&A here on our Discord Trade Alerts channel. All right, so will GRR rally again? Oh, because I've got the warrants on there too. I got a yes. It will rally again in 2025. Let's see if we can get an actual time frame. If you guys don't know, there's a ton of different things about the website. Being a member helps you. Being a member helps you to develop your skills at SOMeta. You just have to make a username and password to log in, and then you can go and check out all the predictions. And the predictions, if you scroll back a little bit, you're going to get all these daily predictions with the chart for the day. So you can look at the cards, look at the chart, look at the cards. This is how I got as good as I did, by studying like thousands of these things. And then you probably don't know that there's a ton of information. This is the most in-depth library of information pertaining specifically to finance and trading for the tarot. Like, it's the most in-depth library. It even has timing. So I pulled the victory card. So what you would do is if you pull the victory card, or excuse me. Oh man, when I cough, that hurts. Woo. The victory card, 6 of Wands. So right down here at the bottom, August 2nd to August 11th. So that's when I would expect it to pop up. The other possible place, let me put that in first, August 2nd to August 11th. So we're going to put All right, so we've got major rally starts here. All right, what else do we got here? Will GME squeeze at all? That was January 30th. I'm not sure if I've got a GME yet, but let's take a look. I think I do. I think I do. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, this is 2024. So, yikes. No. No GME for 2025, but I can do it this way. So let's see. We'll find a spike the same way that we just did the last one. My gosh. And don't worry, people, we are going to cover theta. If you're just hopping on, guys, we're doing free question and answers for anybody that's a YouTube member, anybody that's got a subscription through our website and is asking questions on Discord. Yeah, so that's a big nope. Did not go high enough there. But I was expecting a spike here. I'm going to turn this to gray. A gray ellipse means that an expectation didn't come to fruition. And I leave them there because I think it's important that people see we are not right all the time. This was based on a 1-year reading, which I'll go look at in a second and see how I can get better. In any case, let's see. Is there a big spike in GME in 2025? Yes or no? I got a yes. Let's see about the timing. Ace of Swords. Interesting. So I think it's probably somewhere in, it's not too far away. So it looks like I was probably just a little bit off. December 23rd. And that ellipse was put there so long ago I didn't even notate yet what day I put the ellipse, because now I do that. most likely there. Now, if it's not there, it's going to be the next one. Bear with me, guys. I type so slow right now just because of my back. All right, so that's my findings. We should see it here in this price range, and if you're a total access subscriber, then you've got access to this link. Oh, it's out too far though. So I'm going to make another ellipse expectation. If you're new to the channel, a green ellipse is an expected location on the chart where we expect to see a peak or a crest form. Or on the scale of the chart, maybe even a top. See, and so here in our Discord, it would be under total access, GME, and I add the link right here in the channel. Oops. And so anybody that's got total access can then, oh, and also I want to get the integration. So all of this is stuff that is part of our total access subscription. It's all set up so that we get these alerts and we keep you informed. If you're just joining us, we're doing free questions and answers. Which you can ask those questions on our YouTube channel if you're a member, or you can, if you're a subscriber of our website, you can ask those on the Discord that I just gave you guys a peek at. There's a whole channel for that. Will GLW reach 100 this year? I got a yes for that. All right, so we got that. Can I take a look at these stocks when mentioned by members in the group for, they were mentioned in the group for Q1 and 2025 overall? HOLO, CTM, GRRR. We looked at GRRR. So overall trend for HOLO in 2025. All right, so there's a decline in 2025 that ends with a fast sudden move higher. That's on the scale of a multi-year reading. So probably something along these lines. You see these like big declines ending with fast sudden move higher and then decline, fast sudden move higher, something along those lines taking place here in 2025. It goes probably to about 200. All right, let's see what else we got. If you're just joining us, guys, two ways you can answer a question, or you can ask your questions either as a live member on the YouTube channel. You do that by joining on our YouTube channel homepage, or if you're a Discord member through one of our subscriptions, there's a channel there where you can, all throughout the week, you can put your questions. CTM. Overall trend direction for CTM in 2025. This is just going to do a bunch of sideways rotation. This is pretty much sideways rotation. This one I would, unless you want to do like, with this kind of thing, once you realize the level of the sideways rotation, so I'd say we're probably along these levels down here, 23 cents. Like, this is the type of situation when you get the prints of discs, you could open up vertical put and vertical call spreads like in the money on both sides of that support, and probably just make money month after month doing that, because it just looks like flat behavior to me. We did GRRR earlier, so check that out at the end of this live stream. Check out the beginning. LUNR. Wow. Interesting. They're winning contracts with NASA. That's a big deal. Big deal. Especially with Trump in the White House. A lot of money going to go to space exploration, space development. Let's see what the overall trend is for 2025 for LUNR. LUNR, I guess. It's price swings. We have significant price swings, but on the scale of a 1 year, kind of like the Dominion card's probably talking about bullish price swings. So swings, but overall going to the upside. Let me verify that. That's correct. Significantly to the upside. Let's see how high. So it looks like there's a swing, a sharp swing to the downside at 40, roughly $40, but we do go to 40. I'm gonna see if we go higher. See if we go higher. You're just joining us. I'm trying to determine the high in 2025 for LUNR. Yeah. And there's a reversal to the downside of this. This is probably the top. All right, so that was LUNR. The next one we got KULR. Overall trend direction for KULR in 2025. I got the full card. That means that there's a lot of price change in 2025. Yeah, this does a U-shaped dip. So this is likely going to come back down to the dollar, let's say. So we likely will decline all the way down to $1. See if we go any lower. Yeah, probably 75 cents. And then I think it probably goes all the way back up to these highs from the beginning of the year. Not quite to $4. I'm actually getting more like $3. Which is roughly about it where it started. All right, what else we got here? If you're new to the channel, you want to ask questions, it's unlimited questions, guys. We're going to be doing more than just Sundays moving forward, but it's unlimited questions for anybody that's a YouTube member. It's $50 a month. You just sign up as a supporter on our YouTube channel. Or if you've got one of the website subscriptions and you got access to us all week, there's a channel there on our Discord server where you leave questions, and hopefully I get to them all. LAES. LAES. So the overall trend direction for LAES in 2025 This is a sideways fluctuating rally preceding a notable decline. So overall, this should be bullish and then turn to bearish. Let's see if that turns bearish before the end of the year. Hard to say, but we should see a sideways fluctuating rally here. Probably like a lot of gradually higher climbing, you know, over time. Not like a shoot up, but pretty steady, consistent moving to the upside. And we'll likely see that $11 price range in 2025 again. And then the last one for Arcana is UX Link. Overall trend for UX Link in 2025. A rally that turns over pretty notably. If you're just joining us, I'm attempting to determine the bottom of this decline here. And then next I'm going to do theta, guys, and then I'll come back to the questions. Oops. All right, so the bottom of this current decline is probably right here around 36, 37 cents. We likely see either we either see a prominent move higher and a full retracement, creating a peak in the month of February, or we see a new high in February. Looks like we see the same high in February. Interesting. So a lot of ground to the upside should be covered there. I'm not seeing a tremendous amount of upward momentum here. I'm seeing like $2 to $3 as the highs for 2025. All right, let's take a look at Theta. One of the tickers that we cover on a monthly basis has been giving us a hard time. Oh, so frustrating. My God. We were doing so well there. We were doing so well. And then boom, just off course again. Theta is like, what a headache it's giving me. It's like probably the biggest misbehavior out of all of the ones that I do. But this does look very bottomy. Ooh, we're deep in the bottom there. Okay, on the RSI. Yeah, that's pretty deep RSI. So I would expect the turnaround here. We definitely went a little lower. I thought we were going to bottom out here based on it. But nope, we didn't bottom out. We ended up down all the way down here at like $1.25, which is just madness. But where do we go from here? Damn it. Now that's frustrating. We're a couple of days off on that high we had for the 15th. Ended up being the 17th, which makes sense. The 20th was a good opportunity to open up a long, but not for a long, like just for an overnight swing. Then we went lower into here. I expected a bottom over here, which was the 25th, 26th. Those are reversed, funny. And then I was expecting a much bigger move to the upside. Well, we did. We had this beginning at the very end of the month, this big move to the upside. So February, this is actually kind of going according to plan again. It's just that we didn't go as high as expected. The behavior, the chart behavior is actually not completely awful. This didn't end up being a high, but it was a peak that stood out. And then we had the lowest low over here at the beginning of the month. Ugh, not our finest work. Not our finest work. But as far as things are going here, we did expect a pretty sharp drop here into the second. It's now the second. And this was a really big move. Like this put us into a year's low, hands down, which is what we expected on the Theta 1 year. Right, we have this circled off as a potential year's low. So with that said, I think we are going to still, especially at the end of the month, a really big move to the upside. I don't think that $5 to $6 is off the table. I just think, it's Theta. It's it's like jerking us around. It could mean that there's a lot more manipulation to this coin than, say, its peers. Could mean that. It really looks like this is probably a significant. This might be a lowest low. If it's the lowest low is either here or it's over here, around the 23rd. But there's highs before that, and I think probably the best bet is to be looking for opportunities to cost average down. Like here on this Ace of Cups on the 8th, probably a good spot to do it. Right now is a very good spot to do it. Actually, right now is probably the best time to do it. Because if this ends up being a lowest low, it's very likely to be the same lowest low based on these crisscrosses and finding support. So I don't think that this is going to be lower than this. Yeah, I would buy. I would look to cost average down around the 8th and the 9th, and then maybe on the 11th too. But the majority of it, I'd probably want to do with this full card. And then if you're looking to get out after cost averaging down, it's probably a pretty good opportunity here on the 16th. Although I would probably wait until March to close the long, because we're looking at highest high here in the end of March with this Ace of Wands, and the Ace of, or the Princess of Wands comes up here, the Ace of Wands comes up here, the Ace of Discs. A lot of things saying that this is March is where we're going to see that price level. So if you've got the balls and you've got the funds, I highly recommend taking this opportunity. What we're doing here, look, we're establishing support. The success card, the theme card is successfully finding support, right? And where are we? We're right at all this like really powerful support. So we successfully find support. We do some back and forth stuff, and then I think we probably take off at some point into March, into the end of March especially. I'm seeing a lot of movement in a lot of stocks and crypto in like the second half of March moving into April, where we see a lot of highs. So I wouldn't be I wouldn't be too concerned. Yeah, it really does suck to see it go down that much. Did not expect that. But it still reads in pretty well with what's happening on the February reading. So excuse me. So I wouldn't be too overly concerned with that. And that's Theta. If you're just joining us, we're doing unlimited questions. Not sure I'm going to get to all of them. Let's see how many more we got. MMM looks interesting. Is it going to see a big drop soon? Yeah, there is going to be a drop. Looks like there's some sort of an agreement involved, possibly. Um, this wouldn't be an awful place to short it, actually. Yeah, I would short 3M here. This is a good place to short. Yeah, it's going to fill this gap in February. And then it might go all the way back up to where it fell from. I would exit down here. All right, that's 3M. That's a pretty good trade in 3M. I'm going to post this in the public Discord channel. I like to give goodies away. All right, what else we got here? All right, so we've got CORZ, CIF. All right, let's see. CORZ. I'm not gonna be able to do all of these, my man. There's just I gotta go soon, but let's see what we can come up with for CORZ. I guess you're talking about this right here is Core Scientific. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. That's kind of cool. I'm looking at it now. So they're trading with AI. They're trading Bitcoin with AI and mining with AI. Something along those lines. Will cores have a high in April? I have a no for cores. Will CIFR have a 1-year high, 2025 high in April? I got a yes for that. Will WULF have a 2025 high in April? I got a no for that. So it looks like CIFR is the one that you want to pay attention to. How will coin and gold and Ethereum do in the first week of February? Looks like opportunity. I got clear kinetic opportunity here. Let's take a look at gold first. But no more questions, guys, please. I'm gonna get off very, very soon, so I won't be able to answer any more questions past what's already on the Discord right now. What the hell? If you're just joining us, we're looking at gold right now. Overall chart behavior for this coming week. Yeah, you want to take profits in gold now, or maybe the very, very beginning of. Yeah, I mean, you probably want to take profits in gold now. It looks like we're going to be going lower from the high. And then this Ace of Wands in the low significator position, indicating a lower low coming in March than whatever we saw in January. And it could be the same low as the February low or lower. It looks like it's probably lower. All right, so I'm seeing a lowest low thus far taking place there between February and more likely it's in March, but it could be February. Lowest low for the year of 2025. But it, yeah, I would probably take profits in gold. Maybe take them on really the first day of the month. A couple other places you might take them on the 8th. But it's hard. I didn't get into the highest highs and lowest lows for February, just didn't get to it. Car accident and all. It's likely that we do go, I think we probably go a little higher first. So maybe take partial gains. But it's risky because we're already at a highest high thus far for the year, which we had predicted somewhere here on the cusp of January, February, and a lowest low. I would take gains. Don't be greedy. I would take profits. I would get into a short position, and I would look to close a short position in early March. How will coin do in the first week of February? A decline ending with a fast sudden move higher. How will Ethereum do in the first week of February? A decline to and through support to meet another support and then sideways rotation. NVDA down to 110, 115 in Sunday night market. Is this the buy the dip opportunity for swing long for a few months? Let's take a look. NVIDIA is another one of the tickers we cover on a daily basis, or monthly on a daily basis, predicting the highest highs and the lowest lows. You get that with our monthly access subscription, which I could show you guys how to get at the end of the video. I'm going to stretch that out a bit. Yeah, but I mean, anything within this range, I think, is going to be a solid buy opportunity before we see this big move to the upside here. It's the end of February. Let's look at the 1 year. Yeah, this is a big move, guys. I would open up a long position. We probably do go a little bit lower. It looks like, what is this, the 200-day moving average? This is the 200-day moving average. So we'll probably poke through it a little bit, but that's pretty solid support. You don't see it, unless there's like a major catastrophe, you don't usually see a stock like NVIDIA go past this 200-day moving average. So this is a real big buy opportunity if you ask me to open up longs. And you can see these instructions and drawings here on the NVIDIA chart. The link is posted to our NVIDIA channel on our Discord. part of that, that's all part of our monthly access subscription, which you get on our website, Terra for Traders, here under Order Now subscriptions. It's the middle one. You get the day-by-day chart behavior for all of these crypto and ticker, the hour-by-hour for the S&P, and the Discord trade alert channels for all of those. When will it be safe to re-enter the crypto market? Whew. Really went down a bit lower than I expected, but what a buy opportunity, guys. Huge, huge buy opportunity here. I mean, it seems like now is a good time, guys. Now is a good time to be entering in. Actually, not yet. We've got further to go. Looks like we've got further to go. So these guys are probably going into here. I would say probably by the 6th. But you won't see like, I mean, you won't see like major gains until March, really. So you can buy at these levels, but we'll probably see these levels again and then take off in March into April. Half March low, my astrologer wrote. For at least for which one? Just crypto in general? It does look like March, the beginning of March, the first half of March is going to be significant lows for a lot of things. XCN coin overall trend direction for the year 2025. This one's going much higher. XCN coin. Let's take a look. I wonder which one. If it's this, I'm guessing it's probably this one. Where'd it go? XCN to USD. This should go to about 50 cents in 2025. It's a pretty decent gain. All right, my friends. So with that said, let me show you how to get those subscriptions. Really, if you want to trade this information seriously, it gives you a serious edge. But if you think you're going to go out there reading these predictions on your own and like everything's going to go right, I mean, I got 25 years of experience that tells you that's a big no. There's so much more to it. The best way to do it and the most effective way to do it is with the Discord trade alerts, live updated trading view charts, and you have access to me all day long, every day. It doesn't get better than that as far as SO meta-analysis. So much love and appreciation to everybody that goes and does that. Guys, if you don't know, if you're new to the channel, the rule of karma for the channel is the most important part of the channel. It's the whole reason why we're here. We're expecting that 5% of all profits made from this information is being donated to one of these charities or a charity of your choosing. And then 5% of the profits is being donated back to the channel through one of these links, leaving you with 90%, way more than a stockbroker would ever leave you with. And they wouldn't be nearly as good. Make sure to spend that 90% on love as long as you follow those rules. You follow the rule of karma for the channel. The universe considers you an angel investor. It's going to send it back to you tenfold for following through. Not to mention you've helped the channel effectively accomplish its goal of transmuting the competitive energy of the stock market into goodwill. Imagine if everybody took a portion of the money they made every time from the stock market. Every time they gained, they took a portion of that and they put it towards goodwill. How much better the world would be. So remember that. Think about that. Bless some people in the world tonight by doing that. And I will see you guys. I'll be on during the week, but the next regularly scheduled time is this coming Sunday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern. Hey, AV. But we'll probably be on one time before then. All right, thanks for watching. Much love and appreciation. Blessings to all my